headphones. Yes, thank you.
Oh, I see. I've got to do that, have I?
Okay, so is the we just check the stream.
Looking for something. Something I can link to. Show people.
God, it looks really good.
Okay, I need to. Hey! Wow. That's all working.
That'll do.
That's all right.
Jesus, that is like...
Oh, well done.
Where have you put yours?
That's the equivalent of that dream you had when you're when you're just
Yeah.
sitting at the side of the stage and the band go, "Hey, you play keyboards, don't you? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4."
Yeah.
And you haven't got any trousers on. That's what that is.
Have you still got your slippers on, Nick?
Right.
Because that's what I was my dream.
Right, there's no thirds.
Check your
It's
slippers.
just gonna be...
My recurring dream is always we're on the way to the airport, and I've left a whole hotel room full of technical equipment, and I've got to fit it all into one Samsonite suitcase. That's a good place for it.
I had a dream I was on it.
And I have to leave loads of it behind. I think I have actually done this.
I had a dream before a big show
In
that
real life.
In the interval, they come and they dumped some 20 tons of coal on the stage, and I was trying to shovel it all off the stage.
That's very Welsh.
That's very
That is really well.
I didn't make
You
that.
can't take Wales out of the map.
Didn't even make that connection.
Were there any sheep involved?
Okay, I just need a bit of chit-chat because I've got to try and get the balance at least right.
Chit.
What's that then?
It's a USB key.
Ooh.
Okay, so you're all right for level. Have you got enough level or too much? Because I need a bit more, but I can
I
turn
need
the
a little
feet.
bit more, please.
Okay, well that's you've each got
I've
your
got
own.
my own. Yeah, that's good.
So what I might do is just turn the overall level
I
down.
noticed that is a bit looser. Does that want to just... Hang on.
Which one?
Oh,
My
this is
one?
nice. Mine's
So
nicely
that's
wedged.
good. That's
I'm
good for me.
Okay.
Good for me. Is that all good for everybody? You've got your own level controls. I haven't
okay,
leveled them up yet, but
Going bloody deaf
good.
in that.
Right.
Oh, that's better. Oh, yeah.
so then we got our wide shot, which is it that one? Oh, excellent. So, oh yeah, there we go. Wide shot.
I've got one of those.
Wide shot. Okay.
Bloody
I'm going
brilliant.
to try and do
Can we
it
hear
like
Rich?
this. Rich.
Nick.
Ah, good. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
Ty.
Me.
Yeah.
Excellent. So
Thank
we're
you.
getting somewhere. So right, all we got to do now is get.
Oh, I can't do that.
I'm just going to. Oh, where's my camera? I'm over here, aren't I? Oh, that's right. I need that because I can't see myself. I don't know where I am in the frame when I'm turning on. Okay, folks, this rather disorganised start is just before we had everything beautifully set up, and then the individual Skype machines for our remote people just didn't work up. I think Microsoft have decided to
evil.
mark episode 500 by celebrating it by updating Skype for us, which actually means that none of our Skype machines work. So we're just a little bit. I'm a little bit flustered. I think would be fair to say. But I was saying it's a bit like that dream when you're on stage and just watching a band from the side and they point at you and go, "You know this song, don't you? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4," and you haven't got your trousers on and you don't know anything, and it's Radiohead or something in front of 2 million people and a live televised audience. It's kind of how I felt about 10 minutes ago, but it was real life. So we've got
stories like that.
Ty. I was actually thought I was looking at the camera, but I wasn't there. So that's me. So I've got
do.
slightly different shots here. So and then we got Gaz, Mark Tinley,
Hey.
and Mr. David Spears. Right. Okay. So stand by, everybody. I'm not seeing any.
Is PJ around?
I haven't seen him yet. I'm trying to. I'm
Okay.
trying to get him online because what we've had to do, guys, as you might see from your shot, is conference call you up. So you're basically twos up. So when PJ joins that, I'm not quite sure how that works. You might have to adjust yourself within the frame of your thing. So we'll see. So I'm thinking maybe it's also time to think about.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So if
I'm always adjusting myself.
hang on. Fortunately, these shots are all below the
I'm used
waist.
to that.
Below the waist.
I can't do what I normally do, which is to research the topics right at the last minute.
There are no topics, Mark.
Phew!
There are no topics.
That's all right then.
The topics
You're the
are-
topic, Mark.
The
You're
only
the topic.
the only topics are
Where is that man?
the only topics
Where
are.
can I see him? Oh, up there. Ha ha. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Can I also say, at the moment, when you're all talking at the same time, it's almost impossible to know what's going on because I'm having to turn around a little bit to see everybody, so I'm not in front of my usual thing. So if you could just bear with me if I get a bit snappy. There's nothing personal.
Glastonbury FM have a special sign they hold up at me that says "Stop talking." So maybe you should have one of those.
I haven't got
or
time. There's probably
dead
something.
leg.
Punch me.
Dead leg.
Right, I was saying something. I can't remember what it was now.
Okay.
But it doesn't really matter.
See
Right,
no
I'm
evil.
going to go and see if I can get PJ in on the shot. So let's just let's get the. We'll leave you with the lovely 500 balloons behind you.
Hang on, if I... Hello, that's it.
Which one are you going to be?
See?
I should just be talk no evil, and then I won't have to say anything. And then I can't accidentally talk over people. This reminds me, I bought a trombone the other day. I've been trying to learn how to play it.
Good. Is it a plastic one?
No, it's a real one. Old, big brass, old one.
Have you seen those plastic
Trombone is
Yes.
viciously difficult to play well.
I know. I
Yeah.
found that out.
As somebody who tried,
It's
take
cool.
my word for it.
Although, having said that, I'm getting further with it than the clarinet.
Okay. Well, it's fun.
I think
It's
the trombone
really great
is glorious to play badly, isn't it? It's absolutely great
We are
fun.
live, by the way, just letting you know.
Okay.
Just in case you were
I was in.
saying anything confidential.
I was outside the supermarket and there were these two women walking past and I was blowing in it and kind of doing it in time with their movements and they were kind of in hysterics walking across the car park, so I may just use it as a comedy thing.
Just to give a live soundtrack.
Oh, do you know what's really interesting from a music technology perspective? If you take an earbud, headphone, and put it down the end of the trombone, it's kind of a whisper volume coming out the earbud, but the trombone makes it sound full high fidelity. Yeah.
Oh.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Right, so I need to get P. So what's happening now is I'm just going to get PJ's new Skype contact, and then we can head into the so a little bit different format today. Completely chaotic, I would say. That's what you need. You need that there, but that TV weighs about £50.
What about a mirror?
That's cool.
Stick a mirror up.
We can see them there.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay.
What's the other thing I'm trying to do?
What was that? Was that Rich playing trombone?
Yeah, it's like a comedy trombone.
That was me playing Rolly.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Go on then, yeah, let's have a trombone.
This is a metaphor
Oh, look,
for
I've
my
got
life.
a pink one.
Very horn-like patch. I love this.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we've got a show.
Can we get a little thing on the go here?
Are we meant to be doing it in time or out?
Oh,
of time?
look.
Who's that soprano sax player? Courtney Pine.
you could
You could be Courtney Pine. You could be David Sanborn.
Don't anyone use these
And
ones.
you could be. Hold on. Who's the really good one?
Trombone.
Used to
I
play.
can be Kenny G.
Kenny
Kenny
G,
G.
No,
Courtney
don't.
Pine, and David Sanborn, not soprano sax players, because I always think soprano. No, we haven't. We're all right.
I'd like to be
I'll have we.
somewhere else.
He did send me his contact details. He did send them to me, but. Oh my god! Right, okay. PJ Tracy.
Yeah, very good.
Yes.
Stop it, I'm sorry.
PJ Tracy.
It's the trumpet player in the band. It just does that for half an hour and then goes.
PJ Tracy.
Oh, that was a good noise.
He's quite good, Rich. He could do it for a living.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
You ever thought
Damn
about
it,
doing
I should have brought my white
I think with a little more practice.
Yeah.
Right,
No, all of Chic wear white hats, don't they?
that's true.
Yeah.
I wore a black hat last night.
Did you?
I was the bad guy.
Are you allowed to do that?
Yes, those
If
are.
you're in trouble.
I don't make too many wardrobe decisions, but that's one of them.
Oh, really? Okay.
Phone's on silent.
I'm looking for my wallet, Ty. You got a tip jar?
I figured if Jane might not get her actually coming on the
The wonders of Postman Pat. Eric, Postman Pat.
Entertain us.
I was making a cup of tea, wasn't I?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Forgotten to pour the water in the hot bit.
Do you have milk with it?
Oh, do I have milk with it? Yes, please. Just a little tiny bit of milk and none of the sugary stuff, please. No, because it makes me go mental.
Ah, that's what I've been going wrong.
I did have an Eccles cake on the way here, but don't tell anyone.
Let's see how it goes. We're adding PJ to the mix now.
Woohoo!
Hello.
Hey, PJ.
There we go.
There he is.
PJ!
There we go.
Good day,
PJ
gentlemen.
Tracy.
Wow.
Woohoo.
Wow.
Cheers, mate. Great seeing you.
Ty gets,
Good to see you
Ty
too.
gets almost. Yeah, it's an interesting framing we got there. There we go,
1 second
folks.
there.
Where
Frame
am I?
yourselves. I don't know if you can. Yeah, that's it. Ty, you need to drop your chair or lift your or raise your webcam.
Oh, hang on a second.
You're looking.
Ooh.
That's better.
Yeah,
Look at that.
Wow.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
You're widescreen.
My God, I think we might be nearly there.
Well done.
It's a room full of record producers.
Tell me
Look
about
at
your
it.
ceiling, Ty.
Second?
Why have you got squares all over your ceiling? Is that soundproof? Sound
Yeah,
absorption?
it's treatment. Yeah.
I could do with some treatment right now. Right, I think we might be about to do a show after some sort of fashion. So there's a lot of. Okay, so we got PJ. How are you, mate?
I'm good. And you, Nick?
I'm pretty good too. So
It's great to see you and hear your voice.
it's great to see you too. It's been a while, and I've got what I've got. I prepared some questions, which are. What episode did you first join on, and can you remember the topics? But you don't have to remember. I've made a note of it.
Oh my God!
No, I'm not going to do that
Thank
to
you
any
so
of you
much.
guys. That would be awful.
I do remember that I joined on
Yeah.
episode 38, but I don't remember the topics.
Oh, let me see.
Wow.
Did you really? How can you remember
Yep.
that?
And it was March of 2007, and Rich joined the week after I did.
Wow.
You know
What
what?
were you wearing?
I've got you 38. Yeah, there you go. Rich
hell.
Hilton was. I think I got Rich as 43, but that doesn't matter. We'll get
Okay.
there. So right, I think we can nearly
So how
do.
long-
I think we can nearly do this. What will really help me is if you can all just be kind of quiet.
All right then.
Because you're all on Omni mic, so any kind of what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the ball rolling and then we can do the show. But it just takes a little while for me to get all of that up together. So here we go. I'm going to do the Facebook thing. Okay, I'm coming back. Where am I coming back from? I'm being heard. I can hear someone coming back in the room. Or is that it? We gone? Oh, that's good. No, we're cool. It's gone. That's fine. Okay. Record. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. everybody, and welcome. It's Sonic Talk episode 500. I think I've got this right. Everything's been moved around a little bit. We've got all our guests here. We managed to pull it together. I would like to say episode 500, an amazing number. I never thought, I was trying to find a happy anniversary, but 50 is about as far as it goes, so I had to add some noughts. But anyway, Sonic Talk, a podcast to do with music technology and stuff. Today is going to be fairly chaotic. As I said, I think Microsoft must have also decided they wanted to mark the auspicious occasion of our 500th podcast by updating Skype. Therefore, basically eliminating 3 of our Skype machines from our technical setup, which I found out about 20 minutes ago. So what we've got is guests coming in via conference call. We've got guests in the studio and lots of mayhem. So let's just see if we can bring that. Here we go. In the studio, we have Gaz Williams, Dave Spears.
That's a metaphor for my life.
And Mr. Mark Tinley.
I'm being very sensible now.
Sorry, I had your mic switched off. There we go. We got your mics on now. You could let's have another little whistle. Hooray!
Hurrah!
Excellent. Thank you very much. And also via down the line in this kind of rather interestingly split up screen, we've also got Mr. Rich Hilton, who's in the top corner. Rich Hilton, Chic, and On the Road with Chic and Nile Rodgers. Bottom is Mr. Ty Unwin, who is a film composer, and you're in sort of like what's that, cinematics? You know, you're in widescreen, that kind of like anamorphic. You both look, so that's quite apt, I suppose. And on the right there, we've got Mr. PJ Tracy, who can speak anytime he likes. Hey, PJ.
He's fallen asleep.
PJ Tracy was one as an Emmy-winning composer. We haven't seen PJ for a long time, so it's great to have him aboard. What we've tried to do today is bring as many people as we can on. We managed to get it to 6, so we've got 6 people in here, and each one of them has got their own shot. So we've got Gaz there, Mr. Gaz Williams, bass player, producer, music technologist, and beardy man. There we go, and you can see him in full HD because they're here in person. And then we've got who's next? Then we got Mr. Mark Tinley, Sonus Magus, who you're wearing the t-shirt today.
Oh yes, of course.
Excellent. And you can stand up a bit. We can see that because I can't move the camera. Yay! That's from his music shop.
A little wiggle.
There we go. And then we've got Mr. Dave Spears from GeForceSoftware.com, makers of fine software instruments and purveyors and pimpers of booze for auspicious podcast occasions.
He's being very sensible.
He's being very, also we've got Mr. Lee Kemp in here, who looks after our Twitter account and is generally very useful chat.
Hey!
Say hello, Lee. Hello. And Andy Mack, who is looking at the Skype stuff and trying to kind of make sure that, because the setup is so completely different here, anything could happen.
Whoa.
What can I say? So, as I said, there's not really any agenda here, apart from the fact that we've reached the kind of Sonic Talk. I think I'll turn my mic. Yeah, there we go. Turn my mic up a bit. The Sonic Talk 500 episode, and that we started out in 2006 with episode 1, and Mr. Dave Spears over there was on episode 1.
That's really trippy, isn't it?
That is really weird, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a moment.
That was a moment. So I've got a question for you. Well, I'm not going to ask you what that is. So I'm just looking. Dave Spears, episode 1. Do you know what can you remember what any of the topics were?
How do I make it work was probably the first one. No, I don't. All I remember is you calling me before and going, do you fancy doing a kind of podcast thing, sort of midweek? Might be a bit of a laugh, might get legs, might not. Doesn't matter either way. Should we just see what happens?
And what do we start?
And here we are. I don't know. What were the topics?
Well, I can tell. I should also say that we also had Andy Jones, who was, I think, current editor or ex-editor of Future Music. He couldn't be here today. He's gone to watch Dunkirk in IMAX in Cardiff. And that's partly to do because I've been on holiday and haven't had a chance to organise this properly, which is why everything's so chaotic. But that's cool. I would like to say, what were the topics? The topics were, what have you been up to?
Okay.
Apple MacBooks, which is probably there was a new version of MacBook. Booting into XP, so I guess that was virtualization. So I guess that was boot camp. So that's how long ago it was, 11 years. Native Instruments Core.
Hooray! That classic thing.
Yeah, everybody remember that one?
Core.
I've still got one.
What? Have you, Ty? Awesome. You've still got one. Have you? Have you really?
Of course he does.
Do you use it much? Do you use it much, Ty?
I've got it on a separate. I've got it on a separate rig. I mean, it would only run an old rig now. I've got a Core 2. Yeah, I got a Core 1, then a Core 2.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is actually quite cool. That is quite cool. So, and then what's the last one? We also have Waldorf. So where's the new stuff? Because obviously they hadn't released a synth for a very long time.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean this is all getting very.
Maybe it was like the first MacBook. What year was it?
No, 2006.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm
might
probably
well
still
have it.
running that.
I'm just checking, Nick. Are you doing this for every show, or are you just going to?
No, we're not going through one. We're not going through each one.
Show number 2.
As there's no agenda whatsoever, I'm just trying to kind of basically
Getting all
make.
teared up here, Nick.
Well, I appreciate that, Rich. Yours is coming shortly. And I wonder whether you remember. And what was the last thing? Oh, yeah, the price of copper, bizarrely, because copper went up massively, didn't it? And so everything got really expensive suddenly. And there were people kind of stealing copper they were taking down telegraph wires.
Wow.
Like cutting down, and digging up electrical wiring and selling it.
I had a friend who was responsible for broadbanding South Africa, and he was doing the whole infrastructure thing, and he said that they would chop down the cables and then they burn it and then they'd extract the copper from it. But he said, unfortunately, they failed to realise that the cables he was putting up were fibre optic.
Yeah. Oops.
Oh dear.
Dumb criminals. There we go. Gotta love them. And also the Moto Ethno instrument called Legacy Digital and March and sample library conversion. So not fantastic.
I still use the Moto Ethno instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's awesome. So right, next up was who came in? Oh yeah, we had Holland Jones, who was one of the earlier ones. John Musgrave, Dave Robinson. Okay, Mark Tinley. Okay, Mark Tinley. You came in on episode 16.
Did I?
Believe it or not.
Good heavens. I thought I came in the mid-hundreds, so there you go.
Well, it just goes to show how both our memories and our ability to recall anything is...
What year was that?
Must
be about the same, 2000.
October 06.
06, oh yeah.
Yeah.
God. Wow.
So, but you had...
a child.
A child, and it was Auto-Tune 5.
Yeah.
Was one of them.
5?
The rise of precision. So, you know, the sort of need for this sort of accuracy and everything.
Yeah.
Behringer's I-Axe. I can't even remember what that was.
To that?
I have no idea. AES, Gabriel's
Fairlight. It was a guitar
Fairlight.
with a USB connector in it, wasn't it? Basically.
Oh, I think you're
so
right.
You could plug it into a computer without having to do any other stuff.
Yeah, I think that's probably that's right. I'm just thinking to myself, God, if this goes on for an hour, it's going to be really...
What else could you
We are going to intersperse it with things.
Are we, Dave?
Yes, we are, and this is the first thing. And I have to say, at random points, I will be bestowing gifts and stuff, which Azio Head, or Bert Vertessen in the chat room, has kind of organised several gift things.
Oh, really?
And this is the first.
I'll hold it up to the camera, which is up there.
Oh.
That's not holding it. That looks
Of
really
which
nice.
you have to
Let's
wear
have a
that.
look. So I'm just going to put that.
Oh, excellent.
So that is Sonic Talk Podcast 500 Rosette. That's awesome. I'm going to put that on and everything.
And we're going to make you wear that out later.
That's really nice. Oh, well, that's from Bert Vertessen. Well, Bert, thank you very much if you're in the chat room. I've forgotten the chat room already. Chat room are right there. Hello, chatties. How are you doing? And also those in the YouTube. I'm trying to pin this on. It doesn't actually. Oh, yeah, there we go. I've got it.
There you go. Hey.
I'm trying desperately to read your screen so I can pretend that I knew something that happened on the 16th episode, but my eyesight
16th episode
isn't good enough. So
that's all right.
So Gabriel's Fairlight was on the 16th.
I don't remember if it was Gabriel's Fairlight or whether it was switching is. So I've also got the whole thing's been set up very differently. So let's go to you guys. Let's see who was next. Actually, we have Marks and Non-Eric, as we know, has been on the show as well. Mr. Non-Eric from musotalk.de. He was next in the list, and then it was. PJ Tracy was on, as you said, episode 38, PJ. So now let's see what was on there. That was Rob Parpin's Predator 3.
Oh, yeah. Predator 3.
The Music Messer for presumably that would be 07. Portishead's new album, which was the one with Machine Gun.
Third.
Third, yeah. That's
Awesome
right.
album.
Apple's new 8-core Macs. Now that, which I would like to say, those 8-core Macs are partially responsible for running this show. They're not the ones that have caused us problems, so we still use 8-core Macs here, and they absolutely do work fine. What else do we have here? David Byrne's Dance Thievery. I'm not quite sure what that was. Old school portable vinyl players, an a cappella attack on the Paris subway, and King Tubby's bass bin. And Brian Transo, BT, had his studio robbed once again. Do you remember? It was really unfortunate because he was working on and all of his master tapes and stuff just went. And you just God. Do you remember, anyone remember that topic?
I do, because I remember it was the second time it had happened.
You had
said that he'd been broken into twice.
That is just deeply distressing, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And he was offering $20,000 in production credit, I think, for anybody that had any information on where his disk drives were.
That's right, because he's actually, as we know, and at the time he was very well known for his incredibly meticulous sort of razor work, because he'd cut up audio, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Rather than use these newfangled things like Stutter Edit, which he was later involved in. But at the time, it was all down to, so you'd lock the beats and everything to the timeline, either in Pro Tools or whatever, and he'd cut up the audio and create glitch sort of manually. So you can imagine if you lost those documents, you would just go, it would be disastrous. I don't know.
It would be.
It would be absolutely awful. I would say that. But anyway, he's all right now. I've seen him a couple of times since. And in fact, I think I've got a photo with him when he launched Stutter Edit at on the Isotope booth at NAMM sometime. I can't remember when. Lovely bloke, actually. Okay, right, we're moving on. Rich Hilton, you're next. So you came in, according to my notes, but PJ thinks it might be different. So your memory, all you can do is say, I don't remember it like that, and we'll just agree that maybe my notes were wrong, which is probably right. Episode 43.
I'm guessing I'm wrong, Nick.
That's all right. I had to do a search this morning, and what it did is it made me realise how terrible our search system is for looking for stuff like that. So, Mr. Rich Hilton, over there in Newtown, Connecticut, you... Come on down. You were at episode 43, and PJ, you were talking about the Bent Festival, which I think was Circuit Bent stuff.
Wow, yeah.
Moves on to a bunch of very poor album covers, SATA drives, and data in general, 12 kinds of client, and what that means. I'm guessing what that was the kind of people one has to work for, and the personality types and things. And I remember it was your first show, and you were immensely diplomatic, as ever. Let me see. The State of Music, push ringtones, Time Freezer plugin, Trinity Audio Group Linux-based DAW plugin, and 9 Inch Nails release a magical CD that changes colour, and The Simpsons hit 20. Remember any of that, Rich?
That would have been maybe. It all sounds familiar.
That would have been in 2007. Can you believe that?
Discussed a few of those things, yes.
Only 10 years ago. Of all time.
I may have discussed some of those things, Senator.
Anyway, we'll take a break from this at the moment, and then just sort of what's everybody been up to? So maybe we'll start over. Let's start with Gaz, and hopefully that'll go to Gaz. Yeah, look, there we go. There's Gaz. So what have you been up to since we last saw you?
Well, I've just finished The Lawn. This is the concept album with Asteroid Deluxe. I've got it here if we can get a preview of it. Which is this is the one I talked about before. This is the unfortunate concept album that we've done about the building of all about the tower block building and council flats in Britain, and then the kind of subsequent decline and neglect, and then leading to in our kind of concept album into a massive disaster. And we just finished it, and then sadly we heard about Grenfell Tower, which was the most bizarre and sad twist, but. And some of you may remember I was talking about this on the show a couple of weeks ago, but we have decided we're just pressing ahead with it regardless. I mean, we're not responsible for Grenfell Tower, or we're not in any way trying to cash in on that horrible disaster. But so yes, and we just have it. We've got it pressed on vinyl.
I can see side A here, yeah.
But yeah, maybe a bit of side B. Lots and lots of synths on the album.
I'm just going to see if that'll actually... Can I play that without... I can't do a preview because I haven't got my keyboard plugged in. So open with... What will I open it with? Let's try...
QuickTime.
QuickTime Player and see what happens. I don't even know if any of this is hooked up.
Okay,
It's been somewhat chaotic, as
Yeah.
you can probably, and still is actually somewhat chaotic. Perhaps I should have actually considered some sort of form to the show.
Don't worry about the thing, but it's just, I was just quite excited about that because we've spent a lot of time and effort on it. But, we're going to launch it properly at the Green Man Festival in a couple of weeks' time. So
Okay, all right, hold on.
You could go real old school and open it in Cool Edit Pro or something.
Cool Edit Pro.
Open with. I can't open it with anything at the
Don't
moment.
worry about it. It's fine.
I will get there.
Yeah.
Real Player. It's offering me Real Player. Can you imagine that?
Wait. VLC. Does it again.
I can turn that up a bit.
Skip him on. Skip him on a bit till the synths come in.
Oh. Excellent. You've got that whole thing going on there now. How can I stop this without... Sorry about the clonking noise. One thing that's happened is all of our guests are on Omni mics because we've only got 3 radio and they're all Omni, so there's a lot more ambience.
Yes.
One could say it was a party ambience.
Hey!
I think that's good. So, yeah, excellent. Let's have it. Oh, what's this?
I was thinking of a streamer. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
So Andy very kindly brought the 500 gold letters behind us, which was awesome. I on the other hand, found a really sort of flimsy happy 50th anniversary and was going to add a nought to it, and it was about this big. So this is way better. I much prefer that.
Can I just say, if anyone's interested, head over to asteroiddeluxe.com and watch out because we're going to do an announcement for so that album's going to be available to buy pretty soon. But it's designed for vinyl, and we've actually mixed it for vinyl.
For vinyl, right.
And it's 2 20-minute sort of kind of suites, really.
So when you mix for vinyl, what exactly does that entail? Just trying to keep this back onto music technology in some way. See what I did there?
Yeah, good move. I think in a way we sort of used 1973 as a bit of a guide, really. So various albums from 1973 in terms of the kind of mixing and the sonic sort of, the textures of it. So in terms of for vinyl, not much more than that, really, except it's very simple. It's relatively simple. It's not very complicated mixes. They're all quite simple.
What about frequency response? No stereo bass, presumably.
No stereo bass. We used quite old-fashioned way of recording, all playing live in the room. And we actually learnt to play the side. So even though they're sort of comprised of like sort of 4 or 5 pieces per side, we played it all as one big live piece, and that's how we're going to perform it live. It's like this kind of
excellent
continual.
And I feel I'm rather neglecting our remote guests. It's quite hot. I always remember this when you get a lot of people in the studio and you have remote guests. It's really you've got to really concentrate and make sure you're inclusive. I like to be inclusive. So PJ, I'm going to come to you because we haven't seen you for so long. What have you been doing?
Well, currently I'm in the exhilarating nightmare process of pulling my studio apart and rebuilding it.
I seem to remember this conversation from some time in the past.
No, I think one of the last, not one of the last times, but a few times back, I was in that process. But we're 4 years on, and I'm doing it again. So I'm replacing my SSL Alpha channel, my 24 channel A to D, D to A, with an Apollo. And
nice choice.
And I've built a couple new computer systems, or I'm having one built, and I'm building another. And I'm in the process of data migration and system setup and software install and integrating things and making sure that Vienna Pro works over my LAN and all that fun stuff.
That
so
sounds
anybody that's been through that process, I'm sure they can
sympathize.
They know what I'm going through. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds kind of that as we know, that's always because you always each time there are so many steps involved in that you've got to you end up thinking, did I make the right decision on that one, or should I have? Yeah, I can imagine that's. But I'm sure you because if I remember you correctly, you're a prepper.
Yes. Most definitely.
Most definitely.
What's a prepper?
Well, it sounds like what's the one that where you there's preppers, there's the ones that store loads of food in the basement for world when the world ends, and I don't know what the other one is. Okay, right, and also Ty, we haven't seen you for a little while. I know you've been busy. Did you end up with a holiday, or did you manage to work through it?
I ended up with a 10-day holiday, of which I worked for 7 days. And I ended up taking extra luggage with gear in. And then they actually called me to do some more work on the last 3 days. And I just kind of looked at my family with that look of, I really need to do this because I'm off to Bulgaria for a week, which we'll come to in a second. And they had that look of, that's fine. If you do that, that's fine. But you will be going home with your genitalia in a bottle. So I chose to not do the work, and I had 3 days at holiday.
Oh.
But then came back and then had 1 day, and then I was off to Bulgaria doing the orchestral records for the Major album. Then came back and spent weeks editing that. This will make you laugh. So we had like multiple takes, obviously, of the orchestra. We had 19 hours of orchestral recordings to be working with. And at one stage, I had more than, cop this, 600 tracks of audio running at the same time, having to edit them.
That I remember that thing, because when you record, you're trying to go, I want to use this bit from this take. You need all of the tracks at all the same time, so you can,
absolutely. And I'm there doing it. It's not just section by section. It's bar by bar, or in some bits note by note. And so I've kind of almost finished that. And then I've finally got this installed.
Oh my lord! Is that the Yamaha?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got Nuage installed.
Nuage, wow.
And that, I have to say, is phenomenal.
Hey.
It is fantastic. So I've been, much like PJ, just going through everything's all the euphonics was ripped out, the Raven was ripped out, trying to get this working, and then I've got a deadline, and just don't, because then I've got it up and running. I've got it all installed, got it ready. Install software. It won't run on the version of OS X that I'm running on, and I can't update it until this album's finished. So nothing will work. And then there's a making of documentary that's being made, and they're coming to film in the next day. And
oh my god!
It sounds very familiar. Do you know, honestly, because when you had your moment about half an hour ago at 10 to 4, I was actually just thinking, yeah, that was me at the weekend. And it's mayhem. Normally with these things, I was meant to be down there. I'd love to be down there with everyone. And but watching you at 10 to 4, I was actually thinking, thank God I'm not down there. I'm quite happy to be here. So.
Well, you're always welcome, Ty. So that's as any of you, and I should take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you folks for just making your time. I should also say that for those listeners who are perhaps regular, none of these people get paid for any of this, including me. So this is all done out of the generosity of their hearts. So, thank you to all of you, and it really is much appreciated. There you go. So take a bow, you lot. And
did you know about this not getting paid business?
Yeah, did you?
Did he not tell you?
I've been paid.
Did I? Yeah, thanks, Tom. Did I not? Did I say I'd pay you when we got to episode 500? Yeah, maybe
backdate it.
But and also to you guys, Rich Hill, and I'm Ty. My question would be, what the hell are you doing here? In that case, you've got so much to do.
Oh, don't honestly. I've got honestly BMG are literally banging at the door, and it's got to be finished in 3 weeks, and it is 3 weeks, and it's an impossible task. I've got to edit everything, mix everything. It's going to be a nightmare, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's
BMG.
fine.
So does that could be banging on my gaff, couldn't it? BMG or bang my gap. What's G? Bang my gate.
Bang my garage.
No, this is or bang my garage. Good one, Mark. Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Oh, somebody said garage. Oh, never mind. Perhaps we should not say any more about
You
that.
said that, didn't you?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Oh, we seem to just only have Rich now. Hold on, let me just fix that. Switch to you just click on Rich's image, which is That one, yeah, we can have Rich in full screen, and Andy can get. So we'll have a bit of manual switches. So, Rich, you've been on the road with Chic. I've seen some fantastic pictures of these kind of 360. These massive. In fact, before I start that, I went on holiday to Crete. Okay, and it was a lovely little place. We went to this tiny little apartment in Gouvet, just outside Heraclion. It was lovely. We met these really nice people. First night I went in there were a couple of Russian people. Who's Vanya or Ivan and Ilyana, really, really nice people. And I walked in the door, I sat down at the bar, and I just thought, I'll have a drink, because we got in quite late. And they said, I'm sure I know. He said, are you on telly? I said, no. And then it turns out he watched Sonicstate, but couldn't speak any English, really. But we spent some lovely evenings with them getting extremely drunk, and it was great. And I think what I was bringing up, Rich, is because I was showing him pictures of what you were doing, and he was like totally blown away. So, this is where Rich is playing tonight. And he was like, wow, and that's
isn't that nice?
Yeah. So how was it? Because you were like you've been seriously travelling, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm right. I played last night in Philadelphia.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'll play night after tomorrow in Newark, New Jersey, and the following night in Boston, and Monday night in Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
Where I've never played music before, but I have played hockey.
Wow.
How about that?
I hope they get rid of the ice for you on that one, because I actually Chic on ice.
You know, if I had the
what do you think, Chic on ice?
I could.
I should say, in England, there's this kind of tradition of it's kind of something on ice. So you might get kind of, what would you get?
King Arthur on ice.
King Arthur on ice, or The Sound of Music on ice. And I think Chic on ice is definitely got potential.
Wakeman writes about this in his book when he toured the King Arthur thing, and he wanted to bring an ice rink with him, and they all told him it was nuts, because of course he was. But
he is.
It's a great story in his book, actually, about bringing an ice rink on tour.
Do you think you'd melt it down each time?
We're touring with Earth, Wind & Fire until about the 22nd of August, and then I'm home for a couple of weeks. Then we're going to South America, and then we're going to play a show in Tokyo at the Budokan with Duran Duran.
Oh, wow.
And then we're going to go to Australia and New Zealand with Lionel Richie.
Oh my God! I mean, not like you're name dropping or anything, but that sounds awesome.
No, I'm doing this year. It's not,
So when does that all end? I mean, or does it never end? I mean, once you start something like that,
I should be back in November. It goes to about right now. The way it's written, it goes to the end of October. What I know about, and there, like I said, there's little spots in between. And this week, I was able, during the Earth, Wind & Fire tour, to come home for a week and commute to the northeastern United States gigs from home before I rejoin the whole camping trip and go on throughout other parts of the country to complete the tour.
And we have that thing. I think we've done this on Sonic Talk before, where when you go on tour, you think, I'm going to take this musical stuff, and you lug it around all the airports, and you never use it. No. And I know, Rich, you were talking about taking your Rolly. I think you did take your Rolly. Did you actually get any quality time with it, or was it really just like a piece of luggage that never got opened? Honestly,
I got some quality time with it. I did get it in the way I expected, because I had this grand vision of having enough room on the bus to be able to sit there and compose, and that doesn't exist. So the only times I was able to was when I get into a hotel room when I had a night in between gigs, and I'd sit there and jam on it for a couple of hours, just sitting there at my desk, because I just love playing it. I really, really
I'm glad that worked out for you, because I think we all had those stories, didn't we, of what stuff we... I remember I remember taking like a 49-key keyboard on a 3-week tour of PA tour of Europe, and I didn't even get it out of the box, and I felt like such a fraud.
I borrowed Robbie's 25-key Rolly Rise. I took that with me on tour to Ireland a couple of months ago. But that thing is heavy. It's sort of not, it's big as well. The 20.
Yeah, solid aluminium, basically.
So like Robbie he's now upgraded to the new the Seaboard blocks, because and he's got 2 of them, so he can take his 49-key Rolly out with him. But those, when you break them down, are much smaller and much more portable. Yeah.
I'm actually already beginning the process of acquiring the Seaboard block, because for taking something on the road that would do just fine, and it's a lot less to babysit
You
in the
could take
travel.
2 of them, or you could take them.
Well,
you take
I'm
them in
actually
octaves.
thinking about getting 2 of them. It's funny you should mention.
I just realised I didn't tell Robbie I took his Rolly to the toilet.
Well, actually, this is a good point to actually also remember some of our other guests who.
Don't say. I love the way you say that as if they've passed. You
No,
know, it's a good time to remember those that are no longer with us.
Just because he was mentioned and wasn't here, that's all. So I've got a list here. There's it's probably not so. We've got Oz Owen. Remember Oz?
Yeah.
I don't know whatever happened to him. He's
I do.
disappeared. Ronan MacDonald, was editor of Computer Music. Mark Doty, he joined in episode 400. Corey Banks, 346, B-Boy Tech Report. Jem Godfrey, episode 303. Now, what an episode to join. Eh? Richard Evans, don't remember him. He was Peter Gabriel's guitarist and just all-round top chap, 22. Diego Stocco, 141. Robbie Bronneman, 338. Chris McLeod, of course, Dave's partner, business partner, Chris McLeod. Wow. Remember him? And so he came on a few times. Oh, here we go. Andy Shillito, another friend of yours. Howard Scarr came on once. John Van Eaton, who came on once as well. Tara Bush several times, and Matt Lewis, Mike Grieg, Ed Butterworth, Rich Beach, and Houston Singletary. And I know there are more, but I can't remember them. So I had another couple of. Actually, let's do an ad because I need a break because this is really complicated. So I'm going to do that now. I hope I can press this. Oh, look at that! It works. Of course, this is Isotope, long-time supporters of the show. We so appreciate what they do for us. It's absolutely awesome. So this is Isotope RX6, which gives an enormous amount of new functions. They've got a kind of a more music production orientated version, which is standard, which has things like DS and de-hum, mouth noise, de-click, de-breath, all that sort of stuff that's really useful as well. And if you want the extra stuff to, you can get rid of clipping. It's just absolutely brilliant. If you need to fix stuff with audio, which we all do from time to time, then, or a lot, perhaps if you're not so good at recording like myself, then this is something you should really check out. If you go to isotope.com/RX6, then this is the place. You could download a demo and you can find out all that more about it as well. And I would like to say we've in fact got 2 winners to announce this week, because we did an episode last time. I did an episode to fill in with Jason Donnelly, DJ Puzzle. Peace to you, because he was a great guy. He's in LA. He's done a couple of live blog stuff for us. So we got a couple of winners. So let's start with episode 499. Winner of episode 499 gets a copy of RX6 is Ken Hamilton, Ken _ by the looks of it, Hamilton on Twitter. You win. We asked for vocal cleaning tools and RX6, so you get a copy. So if you get in touch, we'll hook you up. And we've also got a chap called. This was the DJ Puzzle episode, so last week's, which wasn't really 500. I wanted to save it till I was here rather than on holiday, because that would be stupid. So the Anton Ekman Thorgar, and he's at Anton_ET. You will also win a copy of Isotope RX6, and we very much appreciate them joining us in the competition and sponsoring the show. And I've also got, if I can find out the right button to press, we've got another competition this week, and I decided I'd just go straight in with let's forget about doing some kind of audio repair type thing. So it's just the hashtag is Sonic Talk 500 and the hashtag RX6. And if you tweet that to Isotope Inc. and also Sonicstate, you will be entered for the competition, and we'll be able to announce that next week, assuming we can get everything to work in time, because I've got to update 3 machines now. But that's another story. So once again, if you want to enter the competition this week, tweet the hashtag SonicTalk500, all one phrase with 500 rather than 500, and RX6 to @Sonicstate and @Isotope Inc. Once again, we really, really thank Isotope for being such cool supporters of the show. It's very much appreciated. Isn't that right, chaps? Yeah. Hey, a little round of applause for our sponsors. Oh, look at that! I see a bottle of. I was going to try and go into some kind of like Queen do the fandango. There's a bottle of Moet.
Silhouette of a bottle. No,
I see a little silhouette of a bottle.
Unfortunately, I opened it during the ad, which was the pot. But so
no!
I'm going to have to fake this now. Ready?
You could
Genius.
fix that noise with RX.
I could. Well, we could. I don't know. You could add it in. We could make it in.
All right.
So, Dave, you pouring? Let's see. I want to see that live and direct. Look at this. So that we're celebrating live here on the show.
Come on.
I think the first one.
PJ, are you
has
still
to go
there?
to Nick.
Yeah.
Is PJ still there? I'm just asking while he's. PJ, are you still there? Oh, I probably muted him.
You
Sorry.
muted
I think
him.
you've muted
I'm
me
muted.
as well.
I muted
Oh,
everybody.
there
Take
you
a
go.
drink.
You muted
Take a
everyone.
drink. That means I get to take a drink, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's a lovely glass of Champoset.
Wow.
Sorry, I muted you all. That was terrible of me. So, PJ, are you still there?
Yes, sir. I
Excellent.
Am. I don't have.
That's all right.
a
We'll
visual.
survive. Let's not worry about that for the time being. But yes,
Okay.
thank you, everybody, and thank you for our sponsor. Let's see if I've got the right button. Yeah, there we go. So we'll raise a glass, shall we?
Yeah.
Raise a glass to all Sonic talkers, past and present.
Yes.
And all the Sonic crew. Come on. Andy Lee, are you having a glass?
Yep.
Come on then, get them in there. That is, I would like to point out, that's a big bottle of Manny, isn't it?
Yeah, we will
Dave hasn't shrunk.
endeavour to. Yeah, I'm just very small.
Just a wee. Just wee. So, yes, while that's happening, I will I'll have another sip on. And also want to say thank you ever so much to all of our chat room people being with us ever such a long time, and I'm glad to see the chat room is working, and also you guys on YouTube. Sorry, I haven't really been able to follow the comments this week because everything is just a bit full on, but we do appreciate you. Oh, there's Synth Anatomy, congratulations, guys. David Copper's Swedish edition, I'm not sure what that means. Cheers, guys, from Ozbish. Jason Manders, congrats. That would be 500 more shows. Jesus, that would be, what, another 10 years, basically.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what
I
we'd
guess
be
that's
talking
possible.
about?
Yeah, what will we be talking about? Well, that does
Minority
kind of,
Report.
Minority Report in the real sense. So that brings me on to my next question. Maybe we'll go to our live. So Ty, I'm
Yes.
thinking. Well, this will be. I'll go to our Skypers first, just because we've not been including you as much, just because it's harder. It's not harder. It's just because everybody's usually remote. It's just these Muppets here are distracting me with their presence, and I have to keep looking around. Not Muppets. They're not Muppets.
Yeah.
I was thinking of a more endearing word. So, I was wondering at what kind of technological milestones do you think have kind of really made a difference in the last 11 years? It's not that it has to be that specific. Is there anything specifically you think that has really made a big difference?
Melodyne, DNA.
Yeah.
In fact, that was on my list. That was 2008, episode 79.
What?
Thank you. I'd just like to point out that was the lucky dip of research right there. Yes, champ. Nice one. Yeah,
Do you know, actually, I mean, this kind of predates, I think, but when you could get audio into the sequencer, that's a biggie. But that's actually later than you actually think it is.
Well, it was Logic the first one to do audio tracks,
On an
as
Atari.
well as MIDI,
On an Atari.
Cakewalk.
with MIDI.
Was that?
Atari.
Well,
Wasn't it
An Atari Mega
Digital
ST.
Performer, maybe?
I think you're right. I think it was digital.
PJ in there with a late call for
thought it
digital
was-
performer.
I thought it was Steinberg.
Oh,
actually.
oh yeah, Cubase.
Cubase audio.
And even before Cubase, they had something called Trust 24 or something. They had some other.
But you couldn't get
product
audio
before.
in Pro 24. Don't
Oh,
you?
okay, but then it was a very
Yeah.
early version of Cubase where they started introducing
on that
audio with
Atari
certain kinds
Falcon.
of hardware.
Yeah, Atari
I actually
Falcon.
paid
That's what I meant. Yeah, Falcon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're right there, Rich, actually. That could have been it. That's a good call. We have to look at the chat room, actually. Let's just see whether the chat room can help us out there. Although it's probably...
It was a Yamaha thing, wasn't it? A hardware thing that integrated with the computer. And you could drag the stuff in from the hard disk recorder, edit it in the computer, and then throw it back. Also, the Akai
I remember
DD1000 with the big laser,
Laser
5.25 inch laser kind of disc things. Do you remember that thing?
recording medium
Could
more
record-
expensive
I think
than
it could
almost
record
anything.
2 tracks.
That's an interesting concept. That is an interesting... PJ, what about you? Do you have a kind of a sort of technological milestone that you kind of think made the biggest difference to perhaps art?
Yeah, that's a good question, Nick. I would say kind of on the less exciting side, solid state drives are pretty great for day to day operations. But maybe we've kind of seen over the last few years a coming of age of in the box, all around in the box production, where I have a lot of outboard gear, but I'm using it less and less in mixing. As a matter of fact, I don't use it at all when I mix.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Because you used to do a lot of hardware stuff. I remember one time you were talking about maybe getting a Chandler or was it Culture Volta, thermionic Culture Volta, that kind of stuff to enhance your external, your in the box work.
Yeah, and I still have all that stuff, and I use it from time to time when I record.
Keep the place warm in the winter, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all my tubes and Zener diodes are warming my studio. Ooh. Yes. No, I hesitate to part with some of that stuff, because when I'm recording live, it makes a big difference, to my ears on the front end. But moving into the UA Apollo world, I think might change some of that, given the fact that you can use their processing on the front end in real time.
I think it's really interesting. I think what's really interesting, it's kind of, I hesitate to kind of bring on the march of time, but as this is episode 500, the fact that we're all kind of getting older within the music tech world, and you go back to some of the kind of great synth guys, and you talk to them, and they're just like, I don't want to use that stuff anymore. It's a pain in the arse. Yeah. It's like it goes out of tune, it breaks. I just want to use whatever's the simplest path to creativity. And in many ways, that's one thing. But then I guess the art is trying to retain the tactile side of working with music. There's something it's a perennial discussion topic for us, isn't it? Trying to bridge the gap between making the convenience, but also the other side of it. Rich, I don't know if you've if you've got anything that you'd like to add in terms of technological milestones.
Yeah, I'm going to make everybody sick with this, but yeah, the Rolly Seaboard.
Come now.
Really?
No, I literally haven't been as inspired by an instrument since I first met a piano, and I'm completely enthralled with the thing. I'm head over heels in love, and there's no denying it. So that would have to be my number one.
That's interesting. Okay, I would agree about Melodyne DNA, because that kind of. I think I looked back at the topic for the show notes, and it said it's witchcraft. I tell you, and it really did feel, because I think they used who's the trumpet player?
Louis Armstrong.
No, it wasn't him. It
Miles
was
Davis.
The other one, the really cool one with the heroin addict white guy. Chet Baker.
Wasn't it Chet Atkins?
Chet Baker.
Or Chet Baker.
It was Chet Baker. You're right, PJ.
Chet Baker.
And they broke it apart, and they completely changed the key, the chord movement, the trumpet line, and everybody was just kind of, what the hell?
I remember my comment on that.
Didn't they make the Beatles minor as well? They took all this happy music and turned it into something quite sinister sounding, if I remember. It was
really, I think that was one of the biggest.
Yeah. At the moment, with these orchestral recordings that I'm doing, I'm literally able to just take a whole multi-track. Well, I can get it down to kind of 8 tracks of mic positions. So I'm there, and I can literally be moving the inner parts, kind of time-wise and pitch-wise, and making them, it still feels like witchcraft all these years later, because you're doing it, and you're just thinking, this shouldn't be possible. This shouldn't be doable, because there's so much spill on these. These are on like kind of decatrees, and I'm still doing it, and you still can't hear the artifacts. You still can't hear what's happening. And this is a full orchestra. You're getting to the inner parts and moving notes around. It's unbelievable, and that's why for me it's a big thing, because there are very few pieces of tech that are like that. There are things like Synaptic Unveil and the filter thing that they've got. I can't remember what that one's called. So Synaptic do a lot of those kind of things, but apart from Synaptic and Melodyne, there's not a lot of software or kind of tech that really I don't get how they do it. Everything else you just kind of understand.
In support of you saying that, I would add Isotope, because I think broadly speaking, the analysis ability that's come along in the last, since Melodyne DNA, which includes Isotope's spectral analysis and the Synaptic stuff, The whole analysis thing and what it's made possible that was before widely understood to be impossible is quite remarkable. And that's all down to the analysis.
For part of this album thing, we had to do a kind of vocal, some talking bit. And only a complete idiot would have the microphone facing the wrong way. And I was that complete idiot. So I basically had the pattern completely wrong and it was pointing away. And we didn't have time to check it. And so all we were picking up was the room. And RX, honestly, was just unbelievable. It completely saved the day because, it wasn't perfect, but
it was better than blown.
Yeah, RX is amazing. And I think prior to RX, the closest suite of tools that we had to what RX is capable of that I'm aware of were the Cedar audio tools that I think at one point required co-processing and were exorbitantly expensive. And then Isotope throws that and then some into a package for under $500. That's pretty astonishing.
The Cedar things were like 20 grand, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. You're right.
For each one of the racks, and there were like several different racks.
Yeah, they did a single purpose. I mean, I guess a lot of those people would have been selling, stuff to installations, and then when that came along, it's just like, oh. But it's interesting you mentioned that because I remember one of the first. I mean, because there weren't outside of DAW stuff. One of the first plugins I can remember that you'd find everywhere that people would run on dedicated machines was Altiverb. Remember, there would be dedicated machines, and that was used in post, and that kind of quadraphonic, and that was a massive. I mean, in many ways, that was one of the precursors to the kind of WoW software type things, and it's still going, and they're still releasing stuff. In fact, Arjun van der Schoot, I've known him for years because when I first started out doing. I started out doing music for and sound effects for multimedia, and they had a program called Barber Batch, which was just basically a batch processor for processing stuff. Good, yeah. And that's when I first got to know him. And I don't know when that must have been 1990, and now I think his job is basically swanning around the well, I'm sure it's more than this actually. I'm sure he works
firing guns.
Basically, he goes out firing, getting impulse responses from amazing spaces in far-flung parts of the world. I keep writing him emails saying, there's a church that I happened to visit in the south of France once. You might want to check that out because it sounded incredible. And I think that's his job. Wow. What a job. Nice. Can you imagine that? I mean, just be awesome.
So and think of prior to Altiverb, there was a piece of Sony hardware. I'm forgetting the call sign on that, but it came out a couple of years before that, and it was like 12 grand to buy one of those things. And then Altiverb comes out, and again, for under $700, you have this amazing suite of convolution reverbs that continues to grow. I love Altiverb. That is my go-to.
It's just it took.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Rich, go on then, and then Gaz.
It took the industry by storm almost in the same way that the DX7 did. It sort of owned the reverb business for a minute there.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Gaz, you wanted to come in.
Well, it's just touching back on Melodyne and Melodyne 4, which used the DNA processing and took it to this new thing with the sound editor, which still blows my mind. And at the moment, it's still so new. It came out last year. Do you remember we looked at it?
Yeah, well, you had a kind of method of using it for spectral EQing, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, which basically means you can adjust the harmonics of every note, because within the DNA analysis, it knows what all the kind of harmonics are of every single note, so you can adjust the fundamental or the first harmonic second of every note within. So it's a completely such a new, advanced way of EQing material.
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, do you think that... Steve Jobs kind of started out with this sort of skeuomorphism, which was the idea of all of this stuff to having a visual representation. I mean, the thing about Melodyne is it's almost kind of forensic, scientific stuff, and it's quite far removed from the... and in some respects, Isotope could be a little bit like that as well. The RX stuff can be a bit forensic. That kind of challenge of trying to get the musical... And the creative use of tools like that is probably one of the next big challenges, right?
There's not one occasion where I use RX, for example, where I don't go, wow. Every single time I've used it, to try and perform
there was
something.
there's something in RX, isn't there, where you can like lasso a piece of audio and you highlight it, and then you can put a VST plugin on it. Is that right? I vaguely remember doing this in the past to like create sounds.
Oh, no, add an effects change.
I was making holes in the sound, picking like a golf ball sized chunk of audio in the middle of a piece of audio, and then just sticking a VST plugin on it. So as it plays through that only that bit goes through the plugin. But I can't remember what that was. I think that was in RX.
Wow,
I'm pretty sure that was in RX.
I mean, it absolutely saved my bacon. We'd flown to Boston to go and film somebody for Bright Sparks. We spent an inordinate amount of money on it, and we got there and the chap was ill physically, and he didn't look well, and every time he spoke he was coughing and hacking, and when I got it home I did an edit and it just felt really wrong. It felt really exploitative, and it was just like, he's not well, I can't use this. And I put it all into RX and I pulled out all the hacks and the ticks and whatnot, and it just fell into place.
How was that for you? Because I can imagine, I mean, it's a sad story, but in many ways it's also funny, because you spent the whole, I don't know how long, maybe a day, 2 days, editing coughs and splutters and all of that.
Well,
kind of
again, with the visual representation, it was really easy to see on the spectrogram, because you got the full range, so you could clearly see it. So it was literally just a case of going in and going boom, boom, boom. And I'd sent the previous edit with all of the hacks and stuff in to Dean from iMonster, and I said, it just feels wrong, it just feels really exploitative and I don't like it. And he came back saying exactly the same. And then when I sent him the kind of polished version, the RX version, he just came back saying it's amazing, because actually the chap's mind was completely there. It was all brilliant. It just took out all of these stumbles and afflictions that we're all going to end up with at some kind of age.
Yeah,
so it was a revolution.
I'm telling you, you have no idea how long it takes me to edit this podcast every week.
Yeah, I know which one.
Which brings us on to the next subject, is what do we do when we all go senile in the next 10 years?
Well, I'm hoping it'll be a little bit longer.
I've got a head start.
But that's an interesting. No, but that is an interesting point, because I mean,
who are you again?
I would like to say I just got. We just got.
Why am I here? Why am I here?
I know I came into this room for a reason.
We just got the. I just got the SEO2 came today. It's over on the table over there, and I plugged it in and I was like, okay. And honestly, it's a boutique. It's the Roland boutique thing. It sounds pretty good, actually, I have to say. But I'm looking at it and I go, I cannot see what's going on here at all. And I'm just thinking, this is crazy, because I'm no longer able to operate equipment that other people can, because I can't see it properly. Yeah. So, and that is actually an interesting point, because it's the same with Eurorack and stuff. And I found the same thing with Wavelab 6. Even though it's great, you're looking at it and it's just so Halion 6. Sorry, it's so tight that some of the icon, I can't see it. I mean, and that's a kind of valid point, and I think that's kind of an issue that might need.
Nick, long-term listeners of the show will probably remember that I happen to be severely visually impaired. And so I found that, for instance, I bought a few of the Electron synthesizers, and they were a nightmare to operate until Overbridge. And Overbridge was a godsend for that reason. Another piece of software that recently I purchased that I found difficult to navigate, but I see that there's an update which I've yet to install, is Spitfire's Phobos.
Yeah, Phobos is
the user interface on that piece of software is rendered in like 6-point text, and it's
no chance.
It's aggravating, to operate. So yes, I can completely identify with everything that you're saying. It's frustrating.
But the flip side, though, I mean, a listener, Lynn Levitt, severely, severe kind of disability, really. But she uses an iPad, and she's very apt at making, very, very good music with it, using just her nose. That's the only mobility that she's got. So, I mean, that's a kind of.
I guess that. I mean, absolutely. Wow. I mean, it's got a lot. It has. I mean, the touch interface and iPads and a lot. All of the major OSs now have assistive kind of modes. And one of the things that we saw, actually, we were looking at Contact and not Contact, the Control NI control and contact. Forget the suite, but it will speak. You can touch a knob and it'll speak out of the computer's OS.
Oh, right.
What parameter you're adjusting. So you touch it because they're touch sensitive things. So that can kind of definitely really work. Sorry, PJ. I think you're having an ambient
Creaking.
moment there.
It's having a creaking.
You've got a very creaky chair.
So
Sorry about that.
So you were going to ask everybody what their the thing they thought brought music to music technology was.
Did I not get round to you? I'm so sorry. Mate.
But I was going to say, because I can just say it in one word, iOS.
Yes.
That has brought so much to music technology.
Yeah.
It's
iPad 2010.
something I can have in my pocket or on a pad, and it's all, it's kind of, it's another way of making music. It's a tactile interface. It solves some of the problems of not having knobs on things. It's a really important kind of step in our...
I would agree, but then you've still got the issue, and this is something that we've got, we talked with you about this as well, the idea of sticking sort of things onto the iOS screen so that you've got something physical. It's the haptic feedback, and I remember, PJ, when the iPad first came out, you were really kind of interested because of the idea of haptic feedback, which is...
the one with the lumps.
Where you could actually feel what was going on, because if you're partially sighted or, you find it difficult to see things, then feel is a very... important aspect of what it is, right, to PJ?
Yes, absolutely. And to that point, I about a year ago I invested in a Slate Raven, and I found that to be a really, really great way of working for me.
Is that just because of the scale of it, the size of it, or is it because?
Yep, because of the size, exactly. And
you can also use it as a coffee table, Rich?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that's interesting, PJ. I'm glad. So, do you find that? I mean, is that a major part of your workflow now?
It is.
Excellent. Dave is waving things at me. Look what he's doing there.
Got nuts on it.
It looks like there might be a gift. Is that for Gaz?
Oh, yes, please.
We were going to play Pass the Parcel.
Oh, Pass the Parcel.
No,
we haven't got any.
I
can
might
play
wrap this up, but
play Gaz's album.
I need to say a few words really before I hand this over, because Aziohead set up a little campaign a while ago. Sorry, I'm reading this off of a broken iPhone screen, so it's going to be in the style of today's podcast.
That's duck, Dave, that word.
And he set up a little campaign in the lead up to today's podcast, and various people contributed to what I have here.
Oh my.
So, seeing as it was Aziohead's idea, it's only fitting that he says a few words. So this is from Aziohead to you, Nick, and he says, Dear Nick, we want to congratulate you on the 500th episode of Sonic Talk, which is a huge achievement. You have entertained, informed and educated us on the world of music production and everything related to it, and given us all gas while doing so.
Yeah.
So we want to thank you for that. You are a passionate, generous and truly great bloke, and we all love you very much.
Yay!
Now, we know that there's more than one person responsible for making this show great. Like the amazing panel guests, especially Dave with his incredible insight, which is way better than anybody else.
Are you sure
no.
he wrote that?
No, I just put it in there. And their outspoken and bold opinions, their unique humour and hairstyles. I don't know what he's referring to there. And also the team behind Sonicstate, Andy, Ed and everybody, etc.
And
not to forget the supermassive brain that is the lively chat room, who are also very outspoken and passionate contributors to the show.
Definitely.
So today we want to honour the man who started it all and created this platform, which has led to a great community.
Put yourself back on
and
the
I
back
need
on the
to
screen.
just find... Oh my God, I've missed...
No, that's us.
Yeah, I know, but I'll be able to see what I'm doing here.
Oh, I see.
Well, Dave's talking.
Oh, he is. Yeah,
I've
sorry.
just...
Oh, God, yeah, you're the director, aren't you? Sorry about that.
I pushed the wrong button by
Oh,
mistake.
no. This is...
So, from your loyal fans, congratulations.
Woo-hoo!
The weekly guests of the chat room and the contribution to these gifts from Lagrange Audio, which is Jason Durbin, Dave Spears, which is me, Chilled Panda, Mike Chilton, Lee Kemp, Red
thanks,
Walks, which is Rudolph Meeson, Ken Flux, Ken Pierce, Helio, Sebastian Kaiser, Pop, who's just in brackets Pop, Katie Kilobyte, Suit and Tie Guy, Aziohead, Kumru Beats, and a special thanks to Magpie Modular and Paper Noise, who made it technically and creatively possible. So your first gift is there, and
okay, the first gift I've opened up is it comes in this rather lovely pouch, which appears to be a set of very nice cloth-bound patch cables. Well, I'm guessing Eurorack kind of style. They are. They're 1/8 inch, so they're very tasty, I have to say, and lovely bag work. Excellent bag work with a kind of pink interior. I'm not sure. That's slightly... No, never mind.
like a wizard sleeve.
And, Dave,
This is your main present. My wife wrote this.
did she? Yeah. Oh, let's have a look. What's the music?
I have no idea.
It's Rondo a la
Turk.
No, it's not. Hold on. Thank you very much. I'm gonna open it now. I'm opening it. Am I on camera? Yes. Sorry, it's hard to direct and appear. Shall we say?
And it's a box.
Oh, it's a box. Look at that. Oh my lord! You know what that is? So that is. This is in fact Mutable Instruments Clouds, which I recall some time ago I tried to get hold of, and he said no chance. So this is actually, it's one of the, that's brilliant. And it's got, I think that might have come from Cymru Beats by the look of it.
Cymru Beats.
Excellent. Let's have a look at this. Mutable Instruments Clouds. Ooh, what's that? Does anyone know what that is? It's a kind of, it's a...
That's a clever looking thing.
It's a plug of, no, it's a spinning top. So I'll spin that. That's nice. Thank you very much. And then presumably inside is...
You really do need to look at the panel of that.
Oh, what? So I've got the panel here. This is Clouds right here. So
look what it's called.
Fulsome Clouds. I don't know if you can see that. That is that looks like a custom Clouds. Oh, that is.
It's a comment at the bottom there.
And it says at the bottom, "Go, I need my other glasses." Hold on, this is embarrassing. Changing. I need bifocals. Thank you for entertaining us from your loyal fans. Oh, look at that. That is awesome.
And it's a 500, a big 500 round the knobs.
Wow, hold on, let's have a look. Oh yeah, look, it says 500. I don't know if you can see that. Yes, you can. Wow, that is awesome.
Amazing.
That's custom. Oh, chaps.
Hooray!
Well done, mate.
How awesome.
Excellent. I'm going to have to, let me see if I can get, I'm going to have to use that in, I'm going to change my glasses now, so I go back to my normal. Dave, and everybody, and all the listeners and everybody who contributed to that is fantastic. I didn't want this to get too much of a love fest, but I feel that love has to be given at this point. You know, it's now, we've been going for an hour or so I think we haven't done too much love in here yet, so I think that's good. Don't worry, folks, it's all going to stay decent. Party Pop, thank you very much, everybody, and that's really very much appreciated. Thank you to everybody who's been on the show. I hope I've mentioned all of you. I'm sure I've forgotten some, but it's been 11 years of this. I mean, this is only one aspect of what we do. Obviously, you know, we've got all the other stuff. I want to say Andy Mack for doing all of that too, and everybody who's involved in the whole kind of kit and caboodle of Sonic. You know, it's not just about me. I'm the one who's on the camera the most because I can't stop talking, but it's not actually, you know, just about me. So, but yes, thank you. That's great. I can't wait to plug that in. In fact, I have almost a perfect-sized hole in the rack for that because I was wondering what to do with it. I took a couple of modules out that I didn't like, and so this one will definitely make it do. Thank you, and also you guys over there in remote land. Thank you guys, and you know, it's a pleasure to have you all with me whenever you can, with us, you know, giving your time to Sonic Talk. I know it's kind of, you know, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, but when you can, it's very much appreciated. When you can't, we're sad, but we know everybody's got a job to do, and that's the beauty of this industry to a degree. You know, that we're very fortunate, many of us, to be able to actually work in something that we love doing. You know, lots of people, for lots of people, this is just a hobby, and it's just as valid. And as long as it makes you happy and gives you kind of, you know, joy, then that's the main thing. Yeah. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter whether it's digital or analog or whatever. Just do what you do and have fun doing it. Yeah. And don't anybody let you kind of, you know, give you stick for using the wrong thing. Because there is no wrong thing, right?
That's right. Yeah. Making music is for yourself, first and foremost. If anyone else likes it, that's a bonus.
Absolutely, and it's really important because today when I was going out to drop my daughter off, who's in a theatre production, there was a piece on the radio on the way back about how music education, certainly in the UK, is starting to be sidelined, and there were all these people on saying it's not just about learning music. You know, music formal music is one thing, but the ability to perform and express yourself in front of other people or on your own is really important to so many aspects of one's life. It's not just about ability, self-confidence, mental well-being, endorphins, all of those good things. That's the important thing. So just to coin a phrase from Non Eric, who's not here. Hello, Non. Nice to. We've enjoyed your company too. Just make music. And I think that's actually really important. And that's probably, that feels like quite a good tone to end on, wouldn't you say, everybody?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's gone to 501 now.
501. Oh yeah, 500. Let's get
Back to 500.
500. There we go. So, but yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody and all our listeners and all the people who subscribe, all of you watching on YouTube Live, all of that stuff. It's great. And we will now probably. I'll try and get this online before we go out, but we will go out and raise a glass. Well, more
Raise hell.
Raise hell. We're going to do all of that stuff. So, thank you, everybody, and we'll go back. Oh, look, we've got our split screen back again.
Hey.
Rich. So, Ty, there must be something about your. Maybe it's to do with your. You've got more synths than anybody else. So, the Skype algorithm has given you a larger window.
Sorry.
No, that's absolutely fine. It's no problem. I mean, but yes, you guys too. Thank you very much for. Well, obviously that goes for everybody, but thank you very much for joining us this week. I mean, I think we're probably heading towards some kind of end of show thing, unless Dave's got more. Dave's looking at me like,
There's no more gifts.
Oh, what?
No.
Can I not keep going? And then if I keep going, will he give me more stuff?
I think what you need to understand, Nick, is the fact that we all want to do this, and I know for a fact, and I think I talk for everyone here. There are so many times when I'm there thinking, kind of you contact about who's going to be on the show, and I think, oh God, I really need this, and I've really got a deadline to do, and honestly, all I think is, no, it's fine. I'll take an hour out because I want to be on the show, and I'm sure that's the same for absolutely everyone. Everyone when they're on tour and they're doing it from hotel rooms, everyone, kind of when they know they've got deadlines. But they will take an hour out. It is all the time. It's because we want to be on it. So, I think you need to understand that.
Good.
I feel very blessed to know all you guys, even though you're arseholes.
I knew we'd never get away with it. Well,
but yeah, you mentioned the chat room, and
yes.
you just can't underestimate how important that is as well.
I'm going to highlight them here.
Yeah.
So now's your chance if you want to put something in there. That's
Azia has just been amazing over the last few weeks. He organised this. He got everybody to contribute. He ordered things, sent things to me. It was just amazing. I was actually quite emotional when these things turned up at my house, and they weren't for me.
Yeah, I remember you said something came and you showed me a picture of it. And you go, oops, I wasn't any of these things. But
it was that. It was because there was no. there was no note in there, and I was like, "Who sent me a?"
You thought maybe I'd send it to you to wear on the 500, but it wasn't.
Yeah, so sorry, Bert. I gave that one away, but the rest of it I managed to keep under wraps.
Right. Well, I think we'll probably call it a day now. And I want to say thank you very much to everybody for joining us. You guys over there in internet land, thank you. And Rich, I hope you have some quality time off with your fam and get your smalls washed and all of those things that you need to do when you've been on the road for a while. Or maybe just burn them.
You. If I can just take 1 second, I want to thank all of you. But first, I want to thank Mark for introducing me to you, Nick. And I want to thank you for having me on the show. I want to thank all of my fellow panelists because I really, really dig you guys. And the listeners and the chatties and all the friendships and heartfelt good wishes I've received. It's really been an incredible thing in my life. I had no idea it would be like this, and I'm so grateful to you all.
Thanks, Rich. What a lovely thing to say. That is a really lovely thing to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well said, Rich.
And I think we're all just. We should all have some kind of virtual group hug, which is kind of what this is all about.
I'd like to say thanks to Tara Bush, actually, because it's because of Tara that I got to...
That's right, yeah.
And I think I was episode...
Wait. Did I not get to you? Oh, gas.
Not me.
Sorry, hold on. Wait. Well, let's just do this now. We'll do it now.
Has he introduced to you yet? Has he introduced you?
Yes, I did. I think I did. Gaz Williams, episode 179.
Yeah.
This is your... No, this is... this was... episode 170. Yeah.
Late.
And the story.
I know I've got you, Ty. You're next.
The story there, though, was I was working with Tara Bush at the time, and you had, I think, a TC Helicon Voice Live floor unit in, and you'd lent it to Tara to try out, and she came over to mine, and we were working together, and she left it with me, because I think she might have even been going back
And
to
you
the
brought
States.
it over, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, so I brought it over, and to be honest, I did actually manipulate the situation a little bit there, because I was a big fan of the podcast, and when Tara said, "Oh, do you think you can," she expected me to post it back, but when I discovered that you were in Bath, I thought, oh, it's a good opportunity for me to. But then, so the day I happened to be coming over was a Wednesday, and you said, well, why don't you come on the show? And that was...
God, did I really? God, that was irresponsible of me, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But that was in... it was a boiling hot day, and it was in June 2010, I think. And
Right.
there was England were playing in the football in the World Cup.
Oh, yeah.
So as we were talking, it was being punctuated every now and again
cheers.
with huge cheers coming in through the window.
Because our previous office was in the centre of town. There were quite a lot of pubs around, and traditionally that you would watch sport in a pub rather than a sports bar, and so that would have been it. I can't remember. Yes, I think you're absolutely right. Yeah,
So
good memory, Gaz. And I remember also because you had really short hair, kind of like almost an 80s cut with a very short beard, and you
Probably no beard.
No, I think there was.
But I used to be like this, and then hairy man, and then I had a short period there, and everyone thinks I've kind of become like this, but I've
just gone
I've
back.
just reverted back. Yeah,
Just gone back
to Neanderthal.
Excellent. It's a great look, and you rock it. Okay, there was one. Ty. Yes, Ty's next. Ty Unwin. This is your life, or something. So this is basically Ty. You came in episode 414, which was unsurprisingly AKG 414 mics. Cultural impact of streaming.
New boy
gives us something to think about. Volca Mix mock-ups. Was that you, Lee? That wasn't you. You did something else. No, but there was a guy who'd done a Volca Mix mock-up. Native Instruments Stems, which was quite a big deal, and that's actually taken quite an Anarchestra, a collection of 100 custom mechanical instruments. Which I don't remember that.
I like them.
Does that ring any bells, Ty?
I can't remember what I did yesterday. Never
no, I
mind
can
what I was doing
understand
on
that.
that 414. So none of that rings any bells whatsoever. But to be fair, I talk so much rubbish all the time that
No, I would like to say, Ty, you have become a kind of a highlight to many people on the show, just purely because, well, not only because of your knowledge and experience, but also because of your
the rants.
I said rants. It's not rants. It's
I
just,
was the ranter.
You were, yeah.
I tell you what, I'm going to have a rant now. I was known for the rants, and now my rants are nothing more than piffle compared to Ty's epic ones.
I think what was scary on that front is that actually
You've been
I know
out-ranted.
Ty knew Robbie, and Robbie had kind of said, "Oh, you should get Ty on the thing." And Ty came round to my place to try out a CS80, and it just coincided with. I was like, I contacted Nick the next day saying, I can't do the podcast, but actually there's this guy who knows like shed loads about synths. You should get him on, and that was obviously Ty. So in effect, I introduced the Ranter Supreme.
Yeah, well, because before that, Dave, it was you, really, wasn't it? Oh no, maybe Mark. I think Mark. So yeah,
I'm very positive all the time.
I'm wondering
honest.
how who we could possibly get that would rant. Because obviously there's a scale, isn't there? Here we've started with Mark, and we've gone to Gaz, and we've got Ty, and that we need a kind of. I'm just trying to think who there is. There must be some kind of other personality we should try and think about getting in, just for the rant specialist.
Me of my crown.
No, as an occasion.
Oh, so now you're protecting it.
Conversation. At least have the decency to have it when I'm not around. Please.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, when you're not available, obviously, that's what I mean.
The temptation to start ranting right now is almost irresistible.
It's not something that one can just do on demand. It has to be something.
Oh, you don't think so?
Bubbling.
I'm from New York. We can rant at the drop of a hat.
Okay.
Oh,
When that
Well,
day.
that Mooch guy's out of a job.
I'm sure there was something else I had in my notes that I was going to say. Did I get round to everybody? I was talking. So we talked about. Hold on, Mike, Greg, Evans. Yes, I think we've mentioned everybody. I did mention Diego Stocco, Robbie Bronneman as well. Nice to have him back sometime, but he.
No, we missed a few.
And Charles Chicky.
Charles Chicky Reeves. Oh my God!
Yeah,
But him and Robbie are off, and they're touring together in America now.
We don't have many girls, do we? We don't. We need
Tara.
more women.
It's true. Well, we've had Tara Bush a few times on the show. It would be good to have some more, and I think that on a serious note, that's actually one thing that is kind of missing, and it's something it's hard to know exactly how to do that, because I mean, I don't think any of us want to be sort of get into tokenism, but there are so few women in the field, or at least that I know of. I mean, maybe it's just my experience is lacking, and I'm sure it is. But yeah, if there's anybody out there who fancies coming on the show and kind of gets the general vibe of the banter, because I have asked several people, but a lot of them feel perhaps a little bit out geeked, and I think because of the nature of what we talk about, there's this sort of element of self-confidence, which I think is
it would
not
have to take someone to out-geek us, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
We do set a pretty high standard.
Well, that's what I mean. I think
geekery,
geekery.
Have you been drinking, Nick?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I have actually. I have. Can you tell?
Nick, I think you should call Imogen Heap.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yay.
I would like to. I don't know if I've got a contact, but if anybody out there, okay, we'll try that. It'd be really nice to get, just spread it out.
I think she'd fit in nicely on the end there, though.
Or in the middle. We can move it around. I mean, I'm liking this system because basically I've just got one camera and it's just doing the whole sort of like zip, zip, zip. I did that yesterday.
That's impressive. I thought you'd got 3 cameras.
No. They're all just one.
Over there.
It's just one PTZ. There we go. Right, I'm starting to ramble now, and it's probably a good time to consider getting off air before any of us says anything. Certainly our guys here, because I know where you are most of the time, you folks. It's early in the morning, apart from where you are, Ty, but I'm pretty sure you don't drink at work. Whereas on the other hand, you don't drink, so that drinking at work is unlikely. You don't drink not at work. So, yes, so we should probably call it a day. But thank you, everybody, once again. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for everybody for coming down. Thank you for the chat room. I'll just do another, pop that one in there. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, all the YouTube people. Sorry I didn't get the chat room up, but like I said, it was a bit chaotic this week. And thank you, guys. Thank you, PJ. It's lovely to have you anytime. You are still on the topics list. Just shout and tell us you want to come in. So anytime you're welcome.
Nick, thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me today. As I mentioned before, I have some pretty severe sleeping issues, and this is sort of right in the middle of the 4-hour window that I'm able to shut down. But I wanted to be here for the 500.
Oh, thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, PJ.
Really good to see you.
Well done, PJ.
Thank you very much,
I really
PJ.
appreciate that. That makes me I'm tearing up.
Oh,
man, bro.
Thank you.
I'm tearing up more.
I'm touching cloth.
Thank you. Well, thank you, everybody. And I think finally we'll probably end the show now. I think that's possible.
No.
And thank you to all the listeners. As you know, I was really hoping that we'd have the play button here because we've just hit 100k subscribers. We're now at 105k.
Oh wow!
And but it takes like 6 weeks for them to acknowledge it, and then give you the button to press, and then 8 to 12 weeks.
What is it then? It's like a.
It's basically a framed YouTube logo, so it's nothing special in terms of it's not like it's made of gold or anything, but
it is.
I'd like to have that right here, and that wouldn't be possible without all of you guys. all of you viewers who stick around. So big round of applause to all the viewers as well.
And something that's happened to me on countless occasions, and I know that it happened to you, didn't it, the other day? Is that people do come up to us.
A man came in my shop.
Yeah.
In fact, this has happened twice in the last week, actually. A man called Matt Wilshire, I think his name was. I filmed him. He's on my Sonus Magus YouTube channel. I basically said, "Are you really a Sonicstate viewer?" And he said, "Yes." So I got the iPad out and asked him some questions.
Oh, really? What Why was there some sort of discount code?
Oh no! And I was going to make
the first show I was on. I
was planning to make a cake, and somebody came in on Monday and said, I know you, don't I? And I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't think so. And he said, you're on Sonicstate, aren't you? And he said, isn't it the big one this week? And I was like, oh my God. So I'm apologising.
So he knew more than you?
Yes, I'd forgotten. And
I was at a party with a load of musos, and they said something about Sonicstate came up, and I said, oh yeah, you know, I regularly contribute to this podcast kind of thing. And they went, oh, we like that bloke with the beard.
I've noticed this as well, yeah. You're a very popular guy, Gad.
I just threw the drink over him. Set right to his hair.
I think though that we should probably quit while we're ahead, and everybody's laughing, and we haven't said anything too profane.
Profane? Oh yeah.
That's not a cue, Mark. That's fine. Okay. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, and we'll say goodbye. We're going to do the big wave. So.
Hey!
Let's keep doing them. What do you say?
Yeah.
Can we do a little Mexican wave?
Let's do a Mexican wave.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
I'll start. I'll go on for...
Faster! Right, sorry.
Mexican sawtooth.
It would have done it.
Pulse switch.
Would have been better if you told me what I was doing first.
Pulse switch modulation wave. It goes like that. No, you can't do that, Nick.
Sine wave.
PWM wave.
Square wave.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Right, hold on. I'm supposed to play something at the end, aren't I?
Happy birthday.
No, it's something. It's just.
Do I have to play something? Let's all play something.
Hold on. Silence. I'm just going to. Well, we don't have to do
Silence. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Yay!
I get to silence right here.
Awesome. Well done, everybody. Thank you very much. All of the people who watched live, I think it still worked. To be frank, I'm absolutely astonished that didn't fall completely apart technologically, because, as I said, all three remote Skype machines that we normally bring everybody in on, basically, while I was away on holiday, obviously Microsoft updated the server end, so they will no longer sign in to Skype. And because I'm using old Mac Minis, to get it to work, I'd have had to update this happened at, I think, 20 past 3. I'd have to update the operating system on all of them, find drivers for the video. It would have been.
This is why
Impossible.
I've had to close my other Skype account, because it wouldn't let me go in. That's why I'm on a different one. It just wouldn't let me go in. This is about a week ago.
Really?
Yeah, it just wouldn't let me go in. Wouldn't let me log in or anything.
Could you log in on that Skype account from the machine you're on now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the version of Skype. They've just switched it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a new account. Anyway.
Yeah.
I had to
new
re-authenticate from both of my emails, and it was a two-factor thing where they sent me a code, and then I signed in, and then of course it's an entirely different user interface. So thanks for that.
Yeah.
And
all my computers have stopped working on Skype at home. The whole lot went out.
There you go.
I think it's the version. Yeah, I think they've retired the version of Skype because Microsoft bought Skype, didn't they?
So unless you're on 10.9 or newer, you can't run Skype.
Sure. Anyway, that's it.
Anyway, that worked amazingly well considering.
Yeah, considering.
Incredibly well.
Brilliant. Yeah. Not so fun.
Excellent. Thank you, folks. Right, I think we're going to go out and. Well, we're not actually. I'm going to post this first, and then we're going to go out and maybe celebrate in some small fashion. Well, I've probably still got some champagne to drink, actually, haven't we?
How much is left? We got through that quite well.
Excellent.
Look, we're only up to here.
Let's have a bit.
4 bottles.
I wish I could be there.
I wish you all could.
Me too.
One day.
Get your ass over here. Come on.
One day. Can't you teleport or something?
I wish.
We'll do it again.
You got a fast car.
We've done it once.
We did, didn't we, Rich? I meant to make a note. It was actually episode 244.
Okay.
It wasn't 250 or 254. It was.
We
just happened to all be here. We had you three,
and Rich.
and Rich.
I got photographs of that.
Yeah,
I
that's
put a
right.
picture of 100 up
Loved
this morning. On my
I saw that. Yeah.
And there was
Quite
an
amusing.
episode, Nick. I don't
I've got
remember
cramp
which
in
one
the
it
middle of
was
that.
where I showed up in that as
I
well.
thought I was going to end up
Oh,
popping
yeah,
around.
yeah, that's true, isn't it? Yes. Gosh.
Yeah.
In your old office.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The chair needs to be like another couple of inches.
Awesome.
I need to be
Right.
10 years younger.